Hi there, this is Heather Embry Warren of Blossoming Heart Intuitive Arts, and this is the weekly Heart to Heart with Heather video. The purpose of these videos is to give you some practical insights, understandings on how to heal your heart, restore it, so you can really feel like you are open again to life and falling in love with other areas of life. If you've been going through hurt, loss, or difficult relationships, please contact me. I offer a free initial session and some really awesome services that give you a holistic and intuitive approach instead of a psychotherapeutic or just talk therapy approach to really get you back into your center and to feel good about yourself and to get the wisdom and insights you need to navigate your relationships. Relationships are the one greatest challenge, relationships with ourselves, relationships with others, and people, the earth, plants, our bodies, all of it is relationship. And many of us have deep inner conflicts because of certain dynamics in our family or in our friends or past partners, within our own truth. So this is what I want to help you restore so you can be in your own personal power, your own personal heart, and feel good again. So to go on today's topic, this week's topic is going to be what you've come to believe about love. And a lot of the work I do, I have one modality called soul constellations. And with that, I really look at family patterns and ancestral patterns and how that's impacted your view of yourself and how you've viewed your life and how deeply, I want to say, in the illusion that is. And how we dance through that in other areas of our life. Our relationship to money, our relationship to other family members, our relationship to marriage, all of this. So I'll just give you a basic understanding, which I think all of us can relate to. I don't care what family you come from, you will have a certain amount of conflict with your parents. Because the journey of life and growing up is to learn how to separate from our parents in our own sense of self. And so even the most loving, doting, kind, wonderful people can rub us the wrong way or make us feel like when we're kids, we feel bad, we feel rejected, we disappointed them, all of this, and we start internalizing that. So then we start playing that out in our lives. So I'll give you personal examples because I'm human and I want you to know me and feel safe and comfortable with me. And this is out of deep respect for my family system and ancestors, and I know I'm not alone in all of these circumstances. So as I've done a lot of this work, it's been 8 years of facilitating and participating in 10 years doing my own work with it, the layers and depth of insight. So there was a big part of me feeling guilty about being loved. I grew up in a family, I was the second born, and I had more of a bond with my mother than my father. And I grew up with my mother, and my parents divorced when I was 3. So I had an older sister, and the older sister bonded with my father more than my mother. There's, for all various reasons of those conflicts. So growing up, I was the youngest, and I thought there was something, I wasn't allowed to be the loved one. I was not allowed to be the special one. I was not allowed to be I felt guilty because I saw the conflict between my mother and my sister. So I thought, oh, maybe I'm the golden child. I went through this whole journey. And what I realized is I carried survivor's guilt. And I would let myself not be fully loved by friends or to not be fully cherished because I didn't want anyone else to feel bad. So I would be the second. I would always be in a situation with friends or even with partners where I felt like I was the third person, or maybe they were cheating on me and I didn't care, or I didn't stand up for myself. I had all of these low self-esteem things going on years ago in my 20s. And until I actually claimed that I deserve respect, I deserve to be loved, I deserve to feel special, that there is nothing wrong with that inherently, and I should not feel guilty for that. So I've carried layers of that, and that's showed up in other areas of my life. So when I realized that I deserve to be somebody special, I deserve to be cherished, I deserve to be respected by not having somebody cheat on me, and that when I talk about it, I'm not going to feel like I'm being too much or this kind of thing. Like, it's ridiculous. It keeps showing up in your life until you learn the lesson. But now I'm getting married in September, and hopefully it will all go well, but I feel deeply loved and deeply appreciated by this person without guilt or without shame. And hopefully he won't cheat on me, but he knows that if that ever happened, I would stand up for myself, and that would not be okay, right? So, and I don't see that in him, but you never know, right? I can't control another person's behavior, but I do feel I've made some massive shifts with this. So I want you to, really take a look at what perhaps you've believed about love just based on your dynamic with your parents, whether you have an absent parent, whether you were given up for adoption, whether you had, doting parents, whether you had abusive parents. I just want you to give yourself just go relationship with mom. So just put on a piece of paper, mom, and then on the piece of paper, put yourself somewhere. And just intuitively, when I say intuitively, just not overthinking it, put yourself on that piece of paper. And what do you notice? Do you notice something in the handwriting? Do you notice that you've put your mother is bigger than you or smaller than you? Are you far away from her? Are you close to her when you've written that? How do you feel about it? Do you feel that she is bigger than you? So I'll give you an example of mine, is that I put here, so mom and then self. So what I noticed here is I have a capital S, which means I have a good sense of self. So I probably have a good self-esteem now. My mom is still, it's good that she's there at the top because that should be the lineage. However, I'm not directly under her. And I also noticed that on one level, I still put her on a pedestal, right? So it's one thing to honor your parents and another to put them on a pedestal. So when I look at that, I go, wow, I have a good sense of self, but I'm putting her on a pedestal. And so what would actually be more, so I don't want to say more like there's good or bad, but what would be healthier perhaps might be something like this, where it would be perhaps directly where she's my mom and I came under her and below her, right? And that I can move on with life knowing she's behind me. I don't have to raise her up. She can support me and I can move forward with life. So, again, we can't change or fix anything. We can't change the past. We can't do all of that. But when that shows up, that means that there's going to be women in my life. When I look at this, I'm like, yeah, I can see that, where I put them on pedestals, thinking they have it together and I don't. And I'm not attracting women who can stand behind me and support me. And then I can support them in other ways. But I need to find those kind of women, and whether they're in an older generation, mentors, that kind of thing, that can actually stand behind me and support me and see me and get me, versus me going, wow, you're amazing, and I'm good too, but I'm going to think you're greater than me. Okay, so so simple, this exercise. There can be so much in it. Sit with it. Just simply put your mom and yourself. We put mom and me. Notice where you place it on the page initially. And do some psychoanalysis. It's kind of fun. And how that shows up in your life. So there you go. You got me raw. You got some inner stories. I got lots of them. Couple of things that you might be interested in. If you want to try out working with me, book a heart-to-heart session. I guarantee you I can get you into places quickly, deeply, using the tools I have to unlock your heart. Any areas that are feeling in grief, in anger, in sadness, in regret, in disappointment, that you just can't quite get out of the perhaps depression cycle, when it has to do with your relationships, it could be a breakup. I will be able to help you get deep insight and awareness in even short periods of time. And in one session, there'll be a lot of awareness. So check it out. Book with me if you're interested. I also do workshops in the Southern Ontario region. I have a day one coming up at the end of September to reconcile the heart. And it's all about healing from relationship challenges. Beautiful opportunity. I go really intimate, close, and we all are looking for meaningful connection. And I guarantee that these kinds of retreats and workshops and the work that we do together, I will connect with you at such a level that shows you that you are loved and respected and honored. Have a wonderful day or evening. We'll see you next week, and give me an email if you want to give any comments about this video too.